Here's the
All
man of the hour.
right. You there, Maddalena?
Oh, I'm here. Whoop.
Are you shocked I'm on time? Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Well,
not.
it's 2 minutes
Never mind,
past
I'm
here,
late.
I'm on.
Nah, nah. Wizard time.
I guess. All right. All right. You know what we did today? We looked at the middle voice. That's the big thing that we did for today. But you did some translations,
I
and I
did.
want to look at your perfection of Mother Greek, please.
Oh, okay.
Go back to the
Mm.
Hmm, where'd they go? Let's see. Nothing like jumping in there. Jumping in there right from the start. Where did what page are those on?
188, I think. If I did the right
88.
ones. Hmm.
There they are. Uh-huh. All right. All right. Now I'm going to shut up and let you just do some reading and translation.
Okay, so 456. Um, the the old men are twice children.
Perfect. Perfect. Why don't you read it in Greek just so we can hear it?
Oh, sorry. Dis paides hoi gerontes.
Very nice. Yeah, those old coots are twice children. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Kind of, yeah. It makes sense, like behavioral wise, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Fantastic. Good. Good, good. Okay, 348. What do you think of that one?
Um, uh, I thought that one was okay. Um,
Yeah.
so
So 456 you thought was easy. Or did it take you a while to figure that out?
I mean, it was fairly easy because it was only 4 words, but I mean, it took a a minute for me to do 782. I'm still not like quite sure on that one, but the first two were fairly easy. I mean, I read about the toy in the chapter too, so
Okay. Okay, good.
yeah.
Good. Okay, good. So let's hear what you got for 348.
Okay. Totes tuches toi metabolas bolas echei. Um, chance taste tuches. Chance changes.
Yeah. So
Chance, changes. What? Yeah, I don't know. It was hard because I was like confused about.
no, that's okay. Just take it. Just go a little bit slower. There's something goofy up here
Okay.
at the front. Just the
Oh
definite
yeah.
article, the tall,
Yeah.
and then followed by a genitive, taste psyches of the soul.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Yeah.
saying the thing of the soul. Yeah,
Oh, the
this is how
thing. Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Always with the thing. Yeah. The thing
this
of
is how
the soul. Okay.
the deal of the
Or of
soul
the.
is that eche. It has metapolas, polas, many changes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the way the soul works, that's really what they do. When they put that definite article on there, it's a neuter, it's just by itself. It's either
Mm-hmm.
the way of something or the thing of the matter is, right? Topragma
Hmm.
is sometimes, there's a lot of people say that to is from the topragma, and pragma
Okay.
just means a happening or an event, or the thing. Topragmates psyches. The thing about chance is eche.
Chance. Okay.
It has polas metapolas. It has many changes.
Many changes. Okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense. I thought eje was cling to or to be next to. Oh wait, so that's just with genitive then. Great.
Yeah, it just says echo is just to hold or possess. And while you're there looking at it, look at
Okay.
the future. You can have
Mm-hmm.
a hexo, all of a sudden you get a rough breathing, or you can have a
Hex.
schizo, which doesn't
Okay.
look anything like hexo, right? But
Mm.
nevertheless, yeah, you've got a future. Now, this verb, they give you an aorist, eschon, but
Yeah.
you're going to find that it's mostly in the present. Like here it's eche, it's just a present,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Because it's just the verb to have. So, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, chance has many changes. Yeah, good. How about
Great.
782? What you
Okay.
do with that iatros? Don't you like that word iatros? What is that?
Iatros, doctor,
Yeah.
right?
So your iatrogenic diseases are the ones that are caused by the doctor himself. Isn't that neat? Anyway, go
Iatros.
ahead.
Iatros estin hologos anthropos kakon um su psyches gar otos monos eche kufismata.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
So
good.
uh so I wrote the word is being is with yeah with esteem um is being a doctor for humanity's evil.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
I think.
Good, right? It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Does it make sense to
Hmm.
you?
Yeah.
Easy.
And then
You do that wonderfully. Good. Keep going.
and then that that alone otos monos oh, eje has right to yeah have
Hmm.
has um relief for the soul
Yeah, it's the
or
relief of the soul.
of
Yeah,
the
that's
soul.
the
Yeah.
only sort of relief that you're gonna get is that logos. Right? Okay, whatever. Menander, you're so dark, you know? Hmm.
Yeah.
It's just the way is. Now look what you did. That's 4 lines of Greek. You just read it. You got it squared away. You didn't have any major problems. How long did that take you?
Probably like 30, 40 minutes.
30, 40 minutes. My God, you're flying. That's
That's
fantastic,
really
right? No, that's
yeah.
fantastic. People should see that. Okay, look at that. That's real Greek, and you are reading it, right? So
Mhm.
good, good. Now, this one at the bottom from Aeschylus, I didn't tell you to read it,
Mhm.
but I just want you to look at it.
Okay.
Amen gar eu praximen
Yeah.
idea theu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm getting my new cable and my internet installed, and it'll be a landline, so I won't have any satellite interruptions after tomorrow. I
Nice.
shouldn't. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll see, right?
That's cool.
So here's Aeschylus. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Amen, God, el proximen. What does that proximen look like?
Black
Prox.
Simon. Blocks. Uh,
It's from the verb prato.
Pato.
Prato, proxo,
That one.
eproxa is the
Eproxa.
third principal
Let
part.
me
So
write that one. Yeah.
it's
Oh, to
definitely an
do or
aorist.
fair.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's
Yeah.
definitely an aorist
Okay. Yeah.
and an
It's got the
imen. Yeah.
Iman, which
Uh-huh.
is third.
Looks optative, doesn't it?
Yes. Is it third plural?
Yeah, is it? I me ice I, third
I.
plural. I me ice
Oh wait.
I,
Uh
Imen.
Iman. Yeah, so it'd be
Yeah.
first plural.
Yeah. First
Yes.
plural. There you go. There
Mm-hmm.
you go. And look, it's got an A and a gar in it, right? Amen gar el proximen
Mm-hmm.
aitiatheu. Okay, let's use this. Let's use this entire class as a way of bringing Aeschylus to life. This is Aeschylus, right? What is the look at that proximen and these uses of the optative? Can we go to? Hmm, I want to go to the new optatives that we've got
Oh, okay.
on page. First one there wins. Boom. Oh, I almost beat you.
Ah,
Damn, there it is. Okay.
A baby. Oh wait, the okay.
174. 174. Look, we've got an optative in that. Let's just start playing with the optatives that they've given us.
Oh yes.
We've got new ones for this chapter. We've got new ones for this chapter. And I just want you to look, just
Mm-hmm.
like you can have a subjunctive that's independent, right? You can also have an optative that is your main verb, right? It uses your main verb.
Yeah.
And they give us a couple of types here. The optative of wish, which has that agar. Yeah.
Yeah. A God. May
Yeah.
we. Yeah.
An independent optative. Oh, can I turn that off? I'm going to turn that phone off. An independent optative without any introductory word or introduced by a god or atha expresses the speaker's wish, hope, or prayer. Now, I know that's a lot like the hortatory subjunctive. May we go do something, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do something. Hortatory, let's go do something. It's very similar to this. Look how they translate this. Pauimentin machen. Right? May we stop the battle. May we stop the battle. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If only we may stop the battle, or I wish that we may stop the battle. Look at how
Yeah.
they're really trying to focus on the fact that it's a wish. It's slightly different from the subjunctive, right? Slightly
Mm-hmm.
different. It's truly wishing. Yeah, it's like trying to invoke this thing, right? Because we want to
Mm-hmm.
stop the battle. So, Pauiman, may we stop. Yeah, may we stop Teinmachen, the battle. Okay. And then it's got a may as a negative, right? May
Yeah.
they not free the bad people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Egar me luce en tus cacus. Good. Okay, we've got that one, the optative of the wish, and we've got the potential optative. And this one's weird. Just look at the bottom line and see that it can be translated as may, might, could, would. And you're going to say,
Okay.
wait a minute, well, how do you know the situation? Just remember, it's trying to create the idea of potentiality. So on their example on 175,
Mm-hmm.
pauoimen antenmachen, we may, might, could, would stop the battle, right? Oh,
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
serious?
So that's
All
like
of
the
those?
same
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
same ending as what we were looking at.
Right. We've got an optative here, and we have an agon. Don't we have an agon here?
Yeah.
Notice they say the easiest way of distinguishing the optative of wish from the potential optative is the presence or absence of the particle on. The potential optative will always have on. The optative of wish will never have it. Oh God, so
Mm.
demanding with their, with their ways. Okay, that was two optatives. I just wanted before we
Okay.
do the vocab. Before
hmm
you do the vocab, I just wanted you to see, look, when it comes to the twists and gymnastics of what we're going to do in this unit,
hmm
they're going to give us another kind of independent use of the subjunctive slash optatives. Here it's the optatives. So you're going to
Yeah.
get these sprinkled in every once in a while. Now, there's a whole bunch of grammar other than that, but I want you to go
Okay.
to the vocabulary, and I want you
Okay.
just to read it to me, and I want you to read the word, the entry, the whole entry in Greek, and then I
hmm
want you to tell me what it means in English, like I'm
Okay.
sitting to you, listening to you learn your vocabulary.
Okay. Aischos, aischa, aischon, ugly, shameful. Alos, ale, alo, another or other. Anea, without. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Aneo,
Notice that it takes
aneo.
a genitive. It takes a
Mm-hmm.
genitive. You got to have a genitive with it. So without something in the genitive. Good.
Gramma, grammatos, letter of the alphabet, plural, refers to documents.
Yeah, isn't that nice? So in the
Mm-hmm.
singular, it can be a letter. It can be a letter, or in the plural, it can be, something that's written, right? It's a whole bunch of letters. Good. Grammar from our grammar, right? Good.
Yeah. Graphe, graphes, indictment. And
Look at how they jump. Look at how they jump from something simple like a letter to all of a sudden now. What is a writing? What kind of writing is this graph? Because that's the root that we're using in these. It's an indictment, like something really specific, right? Your
yeah.
graphe is your indictment. Oh God, yeah, I'm telling you, Greek made the legal world possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, keep
Mm-hmm.
going.
Delos, dele, delon, clear, visible. Adelos, adelon, unclear, uncertain. Agar is a particle, introduces optative wish. Ace is a particle, introduces optative wish. Ike is an adverb, meaning there, in that place. Ikenos, ikene, ike, sorry. Ikenos, ikene, ikeno, that.
Yeah, notice with the word ekenos, the
Ikenos.
one the adverb right above it, right,
Mm-hmm.
is just the first part of it, right? You've just
Yeah.
added nos, ne, na to it, right? And it means that.
Mm-hmm.
So eke
That.
by itself, just as it's still like you're pointing to something that, but it's a place there in that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Hegemon, hegemo, hegemonos,
Mm.
leader. Hegemonos is a leader. Klepto, klepso, eclipsa, keklopsa, keklofa,
There you
ke,
go.
keklemai, eklapein. To
Good.
steal. It's
Yeah,
pretty
good. Don't be a klepto,
straightforward.
right?
Yeah. Clip
Notice
days.
how no, notice how that fourth principal part that you noticed was a phi and not a psi. Notice that
Yeah.
switch. We're having that switch again.
hmm
So it's not, this the first principal part has the p and the tau, right? Those
Yeah.
transform with the sigma into the psi, right?
hmm
So, oh, okay. What about the keklofa? Not only can you have that transformation, but with a rough breathing or some puff of wind, it'll the p tau will turn into a phi. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of patterns, a whole bunch of different patterns. Anyway, go ahead. What's a kleptes?
Clip days, clip doom. Thief, clope, clopes, theft.
Good. Now notice, don't let that let's not miss that lesson. Kleptes
Mm,
with an epsilon is the one who's doing the action of the klepto. So
Mm-hmm.
kleptes, one who does it. So a thief. Klope, when you just change the vowel and
hmm
put a first declension noun ending on it, all of a sudden you've got the act itself, theft.
Yeah.
So switching a vowel takes you from the one who does it to the thing that it is. Right? Notice how
hmm
the vowels just tune.
Yeah.
When that moron on Danny Jones said the vowels matter, he's not. He's working outside of the Greek roots. He's got too much of that stupid crap jammed in his head from the fucking Germans doing the Indo-European crap. And he's not paying attention to the fact that this is the same root. Klept and klop
hmm
are the same fucking root.
Yeah.
Okay. Right?
Uh-huh.
Right. So, okay. Anywho, well, Lapo, what is do Lapo and its
Lepo,
parts?
lep, lepo, lepso, lepon, lele, leloipa, le, leleimai, elephane,
Good.
elephane,
Good.
to
Good. Meaning
leave or leave
to,
behind.
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Notice that the third principal part is edgy. What the hell's going on? That doesn't fit our pattern. It should be something like
Lipo.
ellipsa or something like that.
Yeah.
What's going on with the ending? Why does it have an on the ending? That looks imperfect, not aorist. Well, it's something called a second aorist, and
Oh, second arrows, yeah.
it's got these imperfect looking endings, right? And it doesn't look like an aorist, yet it is an aorist. So second aorists are going to bother us. We're going to have to pay attention when we get them.
Yeah.
Good. Keep going.
Un post positive particle for then or therefore. Poematos is poem.
Hmm.
Rhetor, rhetoros, public speaker. Rhetorique, rhetoriques, rhetoric. S- Soy, soizo, so, esosa, se, soka, sisomai, or sisom, wait, sisosmai or sisomai.
Good.
Esothane is to save.
Good. And I want you to notice that you pronounced the iota subscript on the front of the first principal part, sois though. And
Sois,
I think
sois.
this is one of the arguments that you have to hear that. Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
watch when that's exactly right. I like this one because I think that this word shows that you have to hear that iota subscript. But look
hmm
at the zeta in the first principal part. Look what happens to it in the second. It softens into a sigma, right? And when it
hmm
does, the iota is lost. So there's some good stuff going on here. Look at the aorist, esosa. That looks pretty aoristic to me, right? But
Heuristic, yes.
Mm-hmm. But when you get to the perfect sesoka, that's fine. I'm good with that. Sesosmai in the fifth principal part or sesomai. So look, there's an extra sigma that creeps in there. We're bringing sigmas. So sometimes all this is doing is saying, look, there's two six principal parts. Sometimes it has the
Mhm.
sigma, sometimes it doesn't. Right? Again, these are just all complications because if we have to identify these words in order to translate them, we got to know. Look, there are variants like this, right? Oh
Yeah.
God, it seems like so many rules to learn. Look underneath it though, that verb to save, and we get a word that for
Soter.
you is very important for the Bible. Fuck all the voices in your head.
Hmm.
This is the one for you. Soter.
Soter.
Soteros. All right, look at
Soteros.
that. Oh God. Now look at the
Savior.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what Jesus is right there. And look, the concept is already in Attic Greek centuries before Jesus comes. It's not
Hmm.
new, right? It has very
Yeah.
specific meanings that have developed over time. So I just want you to take a gander at that. If you plug soter, this is the one that we'll plug in for our search. Um, tell me if you can see. Tell me now, this is going to pack your brain, but I want you to read through this and just tell me what the hell is a savior?
Mm. Deliverer, a preserver from disease, of a philosopher, guide, epithet of Zeus, to whom a person of his for sacrifice it harbors.
Notice it's a lot of Zeus soter, right?
Yeah.
So, and we got to remember that when they say Zeus, we think of the Greek male god Zeus. They
Hmm.
didn't. They thought of God in general, Zeus, just like you would think of Zeus Pater, right? Like this is the father
Yeah.
god of the group. So this father god, this general god, can be a
Hmm.
soter. That's an
Okay.
epithet. Notice
Hmm.
which kind of gods can be which epithets, and all of a sudden you get kind of a
Yeah.
better picture of what they're doing. Yeah, because under B, you're going to see it's an
Yeah.
epithet of Apollo and Hermes and Asclepius. Apollo and
Okay.
Hermes and Asclepius, that's all those people associated with the Caduceus, at least. Right?
Hmm.
Is there anything all those gods do? Yeah, there is. They're all the conveyor of the power of the serpent. Look
Yeah.
underneath that. You've got Tuche. Third line from the bottom in that paragraph B, you've got Tuche soter.
Okay. Soter. Yeah.
Tuche soter. Isn't that nice? And what do they say that's
Hmm.
for? That's for sotera. Wait a minute. There's a
Soter.
feminine.
Soter.
There's a
Hmm.
feminine form of this. Yes. Yes, there's a feminine form. There's a female savior. Oh my God.
Isn't
Oh my
that like?
God. I want to click on that one. Let's see what the look at the Victorians
Hmm.
shorted it just a little bit, but look, sotera, right? Now they're going to say feminine of soter. Well, this could be the original, and soter could be the um, type that was added. Frequently as an epithet, let me show you what I mean, of a protecting goddess, Tisha. That's the old Dorian Tuche. Prime, we're talking primordial divinities here. Look at after that, Themis. Themis, right? We know what is Themis. She's in that earliest line of oracles, baby. You can't have her. Artemis. Artemis,
Hmm.
Rhea. Okay, once you get to Rhea, and
Epithet.
Artemis,
Yeah.
yeah, and Cora too, who
Hmm.
is the queen of the underworld. Once you get to there, you should say, okay, I'm as far back as it goes, and I can tell this because look what the Athenians are doing at Eleusis. with their worship. This is the divinity that they're worshiping there. So it's a protecting goddess that goes back all the way to um, the Cora, the queen of hell
Yeah.
herself, the one we invoke every year at Eleusis to rise from the dead, the
Yeah.
resurrection divinity. Okay, so now you know what a savior is. Oh, and look, number two is just coincidental. It's also an antidote,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right? So notice
Amazing.
that it is a specific drug. Your savior is at least one that they had a specific name for. They called it the savior, right? And not just a masculine savior, but a feminine savior. I would say there's far more evidence that the savior is feminine. If you look in the first savior, because if you look in the, if anybody ever asks you about that, just tell them look in the Orphic hymns and look at how these goddesses who were part of this mystery that they are the original saviors. Anyway, this is
Yeah.
this is 600, 700 years before Jesus. So this stuff has already been well established. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it nice to be a
Yeah.
protecting goddess? Isn't it nice to look a protecting goddess? What is that, right? Like even Athena is up there.
Hmm.
It's gorgeous. Aristophanes and the frogs here when you're
Yeah.
talking about Demeter. So if you didn't think it was part of the mystery, you're totally off. Now, if you're a Christian and you're just reading sotera or soter in a Christian text, you're not going to understand, right? You're not going to have any of
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
background, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, let's go back to the text. Oh, let's do this real quick. Are you? Look at this. Look at this text that we're talking about. Can you see all this Greek on your
Hmm. Yeah.
screen? Oh, God. I'm loving this. Where's my pager? I want it, the next page over has a bunch of. Oh, I went way too far. You gotta love this though. Kragos and Zeus. Oh, look, here's Alexander. Why are they talking about the Dioscorides and Alexander and the Hilaria and Phoebus Apollo? Oh God, who's Phoebe's daughters?
Oh,
Oh,
Phoebe.
people. Phoebe's daughters are all look. Who are the gods? This is you're going to be reading these a lot. Here are the hoi dioskuroi. You just saw that they were associated with the savior, the title of savior, right? So every time we
Hmm.
read about them, you're going to notice certain things about them, and you're going to notice things about other gods that also have characteristics, right?
Yeah.
That also have epithets, right? Oh
Hmm.
God. Oh God. I'm looking for look, here's Cadmus. Let me see. I'm looking for epithets as we do this, right? That's all. Look, look. How far did I have to go?
How
Right?
far this
Who
is. Yeah.
this isn't really an epithet, but this is the Zeus, who is the soter. This is him right here. And I just want you to notice, I just want you to notice eighth. Look at this. We've got some wishing going on.
Oh.
Look at the where are we? Look at the where are we? Iona, right? I'm telling you, you're gonna develop a technical vocabulary. A technical
Yeah.
vocabulary. Can you take me back to the book? A technical vocabulary that is going to reach into these texts. Who the hell was that? That was changed. That was John Tzitzis, right? That's all. And he's a Byzantine. He's one of those guys that moron. Here, bring me up. Let me just bring up myself. John is one of those scoliasts that moron that I'm waiting to shred. I'm waiting to kill him. This is the one thing in my life that I have done. I've come to this moment just for this mortal combat. Ow! for the sake of Mother Greek. And this is the kind of stuff that he was dismissing. So, that Greek text that I just showed you is a commentary of a
Yeah.
Byzantine. And when I say Byzantine, that's just a period. And it's the way
Hmm.
the language is going too, right? The Byzantine
Yeah.
Greek is what's dominating the world. So that
Right.
Byzantine Greek it takes on its own flavors and it has its own ins and outs. And there's a whole bunch of scholars who try to elevate the language. And this dude is one of them. And it is John Tzitzis. And he is writing a commentary on the most difficult ancient work there is. Everybody knows this. It's not new. It's called Lycophron's Alexandra. And it talks about how it doesn't talk about anything. It is the prophetic voice of Cassandra. It's
Mm.
the voice of the young girl who was the prophet, who was abducted by the asshole Agamemnon, taken back and killed in Greece by the Dracaena.
Mm.
So, her prophecy is laid out. It's like this work it purports to be a song of hers, of Cassandra's. So, what she is doing in the song is so confusing to all of us that it requires men hours and hours and hours of commentaries to explain what is this word. You will have two lines and you'll have three or
Mhm.
four words that she is making up there in her song. Now, some people will say, well, this is Lycophron and he is actually inventing this. And other people will say, wait a minute, this is this is written at the time that the museum is at its peak. And these scholars
Mhm.
like Lycophron, they have
Yeah.
access to all of these books, right? So they are
Hmm.
just taking from these older sources. So Lycophron then is doing something where her prophetic song becomes so complex, none of us can read it. None of us can read it. I'm telling you, you need a commentary with it. So in antiquity, there were many people that wrote commentaries of Lycophron because it was so infamously difficult.
Wow. That's awesome.
So that thing that you and I were just looking at is one of those commentaries. And in it, today, I just found, I never knew this. I never knew this. I just found it today. He says Telemachus, if I could take you back to that narrative, we could just translate it together. It's gorgeous. Telemachus, the son of Odysseus, right? Nobody's going to know this but you and me, right? Telemachus, the son of Odysseus, had an affair with the daughter of Circe.
Hmm.
Telemachus murdered Circe for what she did to Odysseus. So Circe's daughter, who had the affair with him, she then
Hmm.
killed him. She then killed Telemachus. So
Wow.
it's explaining how the death of the son of Achilles took place and everything, right? And
Yeah.
it's attributing it, and now, and he's telling us this from ancient sources. He's not making this up, right? This is what's so valuable about the Scholias. They are reading documents that we no longer have access to. So it's a
Mhm.
huge like treasure of information. Sometime in the past, they thought that Telemachus was murdered after he murdered Circe. It's
Hmm.
very strange, isn't it?
Yeah. That is really interesting.
But the ladies win in the end because because um, they killed him, right? So, you
Hmm.
know, huzzah, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, let me give you your break. I'm gonna tonight I want to do until 30 minutes after, and in the meantime, what I'd like for you to be doing is to be
Hmm.
preparing vocabulary from all seven. Could you just review for me the vocabulary from all seven units? And we
Yep.
will have an exam coming up.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean,
Alrighty.
we need to take another one already. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me give you some time off. What I want you to hit is vocabulary. I'm going to come back and I'm going to
Okay.
hit you on your vocab. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Okay. See you.
See you.
That the scoliosis
Hey,
plays.
Maddalena, I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can somebody get Maddalena a message? I meant 30 minutes to study for a quiz on vocabulary. So we'll meet at 15, 15 after, and it's all the vocabulary that she's had. Can somebody get her that message? Fantastic. Thanks.
We're on it. We're on it. We're on it. All right.
Thank you, Cruz. Yeah. All right. All right. Maddalena, we need to do a little quick vocabulary quiz just to keep you on your toes. Make sure
All
you're
right.
assimilating all of this. So, hang
Yeah.
on, Chewy. I want you to share it now. Go ahead. Okay, so just check out your screen.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
tell me what that bottom second to or the bottom word is choros. What is that? Choros.
Um, uh, Boris.
Good. Chorus. Fantastic.
Mhm.
How about above that? Charis. Charitos. What kind of noun is that?
It's Grace. Or what
Good.
kind? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just asking you what for meanings.
Oh.
How about fulaks above that? Fulaks.
Uh,
Fulakos.
Flanks, but it's a line of battle, right?
Well, you're thinking of phalanx. Phalanx.
Ah.
This is
Oh wait,
fulak.
full locks. Full locks. Uh, I don't know.
From the from the verb fulato. Remember what fulato
Oh
means?
yes. Guard, right?
A guard. Fantastic. What is
Mhm.
on this page? What is Sophia?
Oh, wisdom.
Good. And a pragma. What is a pragma?
Uh, is that a letter?
It's a thing. It's a
Oh, a thing.
thing. They give you deed or affair,
Yeah.
and then thing. I think it's easiest just to remember pragma as a thing. A
Okay.
thing. Good. How about this noun here on the page? Nukes in the middle. Nukes, nuktos.
Night.
Night. Good. How about the verb koluo?
Um. Uh. Uh. Cluo is to hinder, right?
Good. Doulos. What's a doulos?
Uh. To be it's a slave, right?
It is a slave. Good. Doulos. Doulou is a slave. And if you douleo, you act a slave.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. How about what is a nome here at the top?
Mhm.
Nome.
Uh. Uh. It says opinion, right?
Yeah, some kind of judgment, some kind of thinking process that you got going on in your
Mhm.
thinking bag. Geron. Geron.
Um,
That's an old dude, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good. Just hang on. Sit there with me. We're just doing this the old-fashioned way of. Oh God.
Hmm.
This is low tech, right? This is low tech. Mm. How about the verb blopto? What is that?
Get hurt or harm.
Good, right? To strike. How about gay?
Is that
Gay.
or
Good. And you know what thanatos is?
this?
Good. And the hippos?
Horse mare.
Good. And here, this one's not easy. Kindunos. What is kindunos?
Oh, danger.
Good. Danger. And the lithos is the stone, right? How about
Yeah.
here at the bottom? How about here? Now notice you're going through an exercise by having to jump back and forth to the Greek, right? So
Yeah.
look at the verb at the bottom, patho. What does that mean? I
Um,
what?
pff, peso. Hmm. I don't remember right this second. Peso.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Get it stuck in your head, right? Think
Yeah.
persuasion,
Oh, yes.
right?
The root of faith, right? The
Yes. Good. 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 Good.
I was
That's
just peso.
take 7 times. 7 times. I'm telling you.
Mhm.
Here's that verb that you and I were talking about earlier, prato, praxo,
No.
epraxa, right?
Mhm.
So, okay, to do something, they're just going to give you a general definition of do or fare. Okay, fine. What's macros versus micros? What's the difference?
Macros is tall, large,
Mhm.
and then micros is small.
Good, 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 good. Fantastic. Let's do one more chapter. I just want to make sure, because as we're going into the exam,
Mhm.
Um, you're going to have to have all of this vocabulary because that's all they make the reviews and the practice and the exams on is this vocabulary.
Okay.
So let's do this one more chapter as a quiz. Notice that you're doing really, really well, right? You're not missing stuff. Okay,
I'm
what's
trying.
something that's agathos? Agathos.
Good. Good.
Good, 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 good. Axios. Axios. What does that mean? That's an adjective. If you're axios, what
Worthy.
are you?
Worthy.
Worthy, exactly. What is an arche?
Okay. Um. Is that beginning ruler or empire, right?
It can be. It's also the start of everything, right? It's that.
Mhm.
Yeah, good. It has to do with both beginning something and rulership. So it's kind of like,
Okay.
okay. Um, gefura. I hate this word. What is a gefura?
Um. Oh. This one always trips me up. It's Is it bridge?
Yes, it is. Good. Good. And the verb didasco. What am I doing if I didasco you?
Teach. You teach.
Good. And under that's my favorite, the
Mhm.
word DK. What is DK?
Justice.
Justice. Perfect. Okay. Now, all that tells me of what we just did is that you have been studying your vocabulary. So I'm not going to waste any more time on that. So, but I want you to know the speed at which you're going to memorize vocabulary is good
Mhm.
because we
Good.
are about to come up on the unit exam. So, it's going to be
Great.
really. Oh, let's do a couple of these.
Okay.
Did we?
I
No,
don't
that's
think I
unit.
looked
You
at
don't want to
those
do
yet.
unit. You don't
I'm
want to do
like, all
unit
right,
10.
I can try.
You don't want to do unit 10. Come on. Tell me to get bent. Okay, here we go. Right.
Uh,
Oh God, what page we're on? Like 180. I want to go to the. Oh God, find the. How did I get there? Go. It's not funny. Don't laugh. Go back to the. Okay. Unit 7. Oh, there's the page I want. I want to start off with this chart, Maddalena,
Okay.
on page. It's a little ways in. It's at the end of the middle voice section. It's on page 168. Go to 168 at the bottom where it gives you the summary of the middle voice, right? The easiest way to remember the middle voice is not to read the pages that preceded this because they'll give you It's a really detailed description of subject, verb, and object and how that works. Okay, fine. Then they give you a little summary and give you examples of the active voice verbs that you've gotten, and then their middle voice. What does their middle voice sound like? So I think that's the easiest way to learn them is just looking at the examples here. So archo, and it takes the genitive, means to rule when it's the active voice. I rule over somebody in the genitive. I rule over those people, and they're in the genitive case. What the middle voice takes the genitive as well, archomai, but it means to begin.
Yeah.
So when you rule something for yourself, for your own advantage, you are starting something. That's how they're thinking. Okay, that doesn't help me a lot with middle voice, right? Look at the second one, grapho, to write. What does it mean to write when in the middle when you write for yourself? Look at the last definition they give, indict. Right? When you cause somebody to be written for your own advantage, you are indicting someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's a cross of straight up just grammar and law. Right? It's really neat.
Uh-huh.
Okay, didasco in the active is to teach. Didasco mai, cause somebody else to be taught. Right? So you're teaching or you're causing somebody to be taught, you're educating, right? Okay. What about sacrificing? Well, you sacrifice in the active. Look what happens in the middle. You cause a sacrifice to be made. Okay, that still to me sounds like thuo, right? When I say
Yeah.
thuo, I sacrifice. It sounds exactly like I cause a sacrifice to be made. That's bullshit. That's the same thing. What's the real middle voice nuance that we want? Well, it means to consult the gods. Oh, okay. To consult the gods. I mean, think about this. Those are two totally different translations. When I
Yeah.
go from active to middle, I can really screw up my translation if I don't realize what the verb is doing. Here, it has to do with a consultation of the gods. Why? Because you are burning substances that you are inhaling. You are doing it for yourself. You are consulting the gods. When you smoke a substance, a drug, you're entering into a state of consultation with the invisible demons, right? So that's why thuo is the middle voice. Does that make sense, or that's how it's used in the middle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, fantastic. Luo, to free, right? Or luomai, to cause someone to be freed or to ransom. Right? So you're really doing this for yourself. You're bringing back someone. You're ransoming. Paideo, teach or educate, right? Cause somebody to teach or to be educated, to be taught or educated. Pao, to stop. Or paomai, cease. Look at the intransitive form. Cease. I cease, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you stop someone, including yourself, you are transitively acting. So transitive, you're going to act on something else. Intransitive, you're not going to act on anything. You're just going to be doing it for yourself. So when you stop oneself, that's a transitive process. When you cease from doing something, that's an intransitive because you're not acting on anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's the difference between transitive. You're going to see those two terms, transitive and intransitive. If you just think of it this way, if you're transitive, you're going to have a direct object, right?
Okay.
Good. Here's patho, to persuade. Now watch what happens. It becomes obey in the middle voice. Pathomai, I obey.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of neat. For some reason, it takes a dative. Notice that it takes a dative. You are obedient to someone or something.
Yeah.
You
That's interesting.
obey. Yeah, kind of neat. Tato. Oh God. To drop an order. It really should be tasso, but whatever. Tatomai, I fall into order of battle. All right, I order for my own sake, so I'm getting an order in battle. You can guard something in the active. Look in in the middle. Fulatomai. I am on guard against. All right, I'm doing it for myself. Basically, when you see those middle endings, and you're going to say, "Wait a minute, they look passive too." When you see those middle passive endings, that's what they're going to call them from now on in the book, middle passive endings. When you see those, you've got to shift to the perspective of the subject of the verb. Switch to that thing's perspective and realize that thing is doing it for itself. Now, why were the Greeks so interested in the fact that you can do an action on somebody else, you can have an action done on you, or you can do something for your own advantage? Why divide the world up? Because your entire Greek verb world is divided up into those three groups. So as you're translating, you're going to be noticing exactly how much the focus becomes the speaker or the person doing the verb, right? The subject of the verb, I should say. You're going to notice, and you're going to be like, why? Why is there so much subject? All of these particles that we've got, all of these particles are meant to help us understand what the subject is thinking, doing, feeling, etc. It's a very unique perspective. You do not have it in English. So it's something that's it's gonna have to seep into your brain. Okay. All right. Is that all good with the middle? You feel okay? It looks like a passive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just do a little bit of the morphology before we just abandon it, right? Let's see. Here you go. Look at these forms. Right here.
Okay.
This is the future middle, right? Future middle. Paideusomai. Paideuse. Paideusatai. It's just the mysaitai mythos, the untai endings. And what does it mean when we say paideusomitha? We will educate with our own advantage in mind.
For ourselves,
Isn't that weird? Like, why? Why not just say we educate someone? Because the Greek wants you to know that the action of a verb can confer an advantage or a disadvantage. That is what the middle is all about. It's telling you the disadvantage is or the advantage is for me. Good.
Wow.
So there are some forms, and then you've
very
got
specific.
yes. What do you think of that? It's kind of a weird way to think, no?
Yeah. I mean, that's really important.
If you're sitting there doing something for yourself, I think I should know if it's for your advantage. I, as a listener to your speech, should know if what you are doing is for your own advantage. It's like a weird preoccupation with the ancient Greek, but they use it artistically. It's used beautifully. Yeah. Okay, good. So, okay, look, here's the aorist middle, right? Amen o ato on page 166. She can still see this, right? Amen o ato, ametha aste anto. Right. Okay. That looks nice middle for me. I like it. What is epideusamen? That first person singer. I educated for myself. Right. I had someone educated for myself. I did it for myself. Okay. You've seen all of these, and you're such a good student. I don't think that you had any problems. Look at the subjunctive. Subjunctive, same thing. It's just the endings, my sci type, but the vowels are long.
Yeah.
Right. No problem. Okay. So look, you're getting all that. I don't need to beat it up like that. That's go to this page 169. Do you understand that there is a thing called a second aorist?
Yeah.
And it's got forms. It's got forms that are going to look unlike the actual aorist. So they give you the form lapo here, the verb lapo,
hmm
to leave somebody behind. You abandon somebody. Lapo is like abandon, right?
hmm
So lapo in the aorist is elipon, right?
Elipon,
And
yeah.
it's going to have endings that look like this.
That are irregular.
They look like, what do they look like? Here are the active and the middle forms. Look, elipon, elipes, eliped. That looks like an imperfect. It looks like an imperfect. Elipomen, elipete, elipon. So your second aorist looks like an imperfect, but it's an aorist. So elipon can't be translated, I was leaving someone behind. I was abandoning. That doesn't work. It has to be I abandoned.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And elipolmen. How the hell would you translate elipolmen? I
We
what?
we abandoned. Wait, no,
No,
it would
not
be.
oh
Oh,
men,
sorry.
oh men, but oh man
Oh,
in the
I was
middle, the
looking.
first person singular.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man. It would. Um. I I abandoned for myself.
Yeah. What the hell does that mean?
Uh,
Right?
yeah.
Well, I
Leave
left.
for myself. Left
Yeah,
for left for yourself. Yeah.
right. I guard for myself. I am on guard against. I abandon for
Mm.
myself. It's just, it's with the rest of the sentence, it'll be easier. But I want you to
Yeah.
see that they're not easy. It's not like it's not always intuitive. Like if we just put up that word abandon here, I'm gonna look it up in the LSJ.
Okay.
And let's look at how it's used because they will tell us the differences in its active and middle forms. They'll tell us, right?
Yeah.
Lapo, lapo, here it is. Mm, to leave. Okay, fine. We knew
Quit.
that. To quit in the old sense, like to quit your
Quit on
post, right?
myself.
To leave behind,
Yeah.
right? To leave behind. Look at 2b. To
hmm
spare. To leave
Oh
behind, to
yeah.
spare, to forsake. Then in math, it can be to lose or drop something, i.e., to have something subtracted from it.
Subtract. Interesting.
So LAPO in math is subtracting. And when you start reading mathematical text, you got to learn all this stuff for the first time. You're like, wait a minute, what? So you're leaving something behind from this number and it gets you a lesser number, right? Oh, it's
Yeah.
subtraction. It's subtraction. But look,
That's cool.
it can be used intransitively. When you leave something behind, you are missing something. It's
Hmm.
an intransitive use. It doesn't have an object, right? I left behind my dinner in the gutter after I drank too much, right? I left it behind. I left behind the dinner. But here you can use it where it's this weird, like amorphous, well, something's gone, right? Do you
Yeah.
see how it's really a matter of exposing yourself to these sources, right?
Yeah.
Passively to be abandoned, right? But it can also mean to like linger. Wait, what? Yeah, it can be like something you're expressing an
Hmm.
absence, but the absence has to do with the speaker. So there is a need or a necessity for something. There's lingering absence. It can go so far as to mean inferior. I'm inferior, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Nice. Okay.
Wow.
So the way that those verbs work, bring me back up the textbook, please. Sorry, Shu, you can go get your work done. Because if I've got the textbook on, I can. That's your work. The bathing of the snakes. Oh, everybody's getting a bath. Hi, guys. You have to keep your ball pythons hydrated when you're living in a dry climate,
Yeah.
because they need the water. They need the water. Oh, do you want? No, we'll get it all here. No, they just ate, so he's not gonna want to be too active, and I don't want to jostle him, make him puke or anything. Okay, let's let's go to. Here's the aorist subjunctive. You saw those. Same thing. Got the
Yeah.
long vowels. No problem. Okay.
Yep.
Let's go to the next grammar just to get you. There's charts on here that they put on sideways.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I believe it's the principal parts. Yeah, it's all the principal parts of the verb, and it tells you everything that that principal part can do. Right? So,
Yeah.
okay. That's nice. It's nice for you to come back to this and look at it and say, you don't need
Yeah.
to memorize this. You don't need to try to, it's just showing you. Look at all the different types of verb stuff that you can get. Like out of that first principle part, you can get the present, active, middle, and passive, the subjunctive, present, active, middle, and passive, the optative, active, middle, and passive, right? So okay, yeah, and it's
Yeah.
got an infinitive too. Right, it's got an
Mhm.
imperfect, right? And then you look at the future, the second one, oh, it's only got the future indicative, right? So,
Tis.
okay, yeah, kind of at a distance, you can see what everything can do. That's not bad. Okay, you're
Okay.
smarter than I am, so you're going to get that stuff quick. We've got the optative of wish and the potential optative.
Yeah.
If we see an on, we're going to know it's a potential optative. If we see an
Potential.
agar, then we have to
Ega.
ask ourselves,
Athe.
could it be could it be this wishing
Mhm.
optative that we've got? Yeah. Okay. Um, Before we go on to the demonstratives,
Yeah.
because that and those mixed conditionals are really the two biggies that we have to finish. Go
Okay.
to the end of the chapter where the quote is of Aeschylus now.
Yeah.
And I want us to consider, I want us to try to translate this
Wait.
thing. It is on
Okay.
page 188.
Right.
Now, I see an A and a gar, but I also see proximon is some kind of aorist optative, right? So I've
Yeah.
got A plus an optative there. I've got A plus an optative. I really could just have a conditional. I don't have to have some kind of weird, this is not a, this is doesn't have to be a wishing, right? This can be
Yeah.
just a conditional. So, but look, the second half, aitiatheu, that doesn't look like any other. It doesn't even have a verb. There's a
Aithe.
phenomenon. Yeah, there's a phenomenon that's going on that you can mix conditionals. You can take the protasis off of one and add a command or something different to the apodosis and get your
Mm.
sentence. So everything is not as clean as I made out to you before. So I want you to be flexible with this one. I want you to treat it
Okay.
like a conditional. I want you to treat it like a conditional, and I want you to say, okay, we've got an A plus an optative. If there's a verb to be, it would be in the present in that other one. So let's just try to work it out. Let's see what you can do
Okay.
with this, right?
Yeah. Um. So proximate. Let's see. Um. So it would be. Uh. Oh. So is it second? Second aorist? No, no. Or is it
Which one? Proximate?
proximate, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's just an aorist optative.
Oh, okay. So that is to do or fair, so that would be we did uh um
So which conditional would this be for a protasis? A plus the optative. We could have on page 97, we could have a future less vivid. The should would. The should would, or we could have a past general. Right? It would be the did. So what do we need in the apodosis? Well, we don't even have a verb there. If this were a future less vivid, we would have to have an optative plus an on. Now that's too much for an invisible verb to be, because that's all we've got is an invisible verb to be. You can't kick it into the say, well, it's actually an optative or a subjunctive with an on. No, you can't do that. You just have to say there's an invisible verb. So in that past general, that's an A plus an optative followed by an imperfect. You could have an imperfect verb to be here, or you could have a present verb to be. Okay. So how are we going to translate this? That's a did, right? Right? If we did anything well, because
if we did anything well.
Yeah. If we did anything well, it was the aitia theou. It was the cause of the gods. It was the responsibility. They're the ones who actually ended up doing it, right? Oh, God. It's right. What is this thing? Is it a perfect conditional? No, it's a conditional that's been screwed with, right? And it's not showing all of it. Yeah, right. So, this is the way Greek is going to work, and you're going to have to be flexible yourself, or we're going to get pinched. Yeah, it's not a wish. It's still got that agar, but it's not a wish, right? So we have to play with it and see what kind of structure, right? We're dealing with. Okay.
That's
now
what I was
let's
trying
go
to
back.
figure out. What wish? Where's the wish?
Is it making its way into the braino?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the exercises on page 186 before we get to the demonstratives. Look at number 1, please. Number 1.
Okay.
And you see the Egar nuktos te kahemeras ekenoi ge hoi agathoi fulakes eofulatointo. So there is a nice optative, right? Fulatointo.
Yeah. Fulatointo,
okay.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a main soto method the unto ending. So it's going to be that middle passive looking ending, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to this one, right? We have to see what's going on. Okay, so A plus an optative.
Yeah.
Okay.
A plus an optative.
But I don't see any sort of. All I see after that is a purpose clause. Right? Wait a minute. Is this? We're mixing things up. We're doing something. Right? So see how the only reason I'm bringing you to this is just from a basis of analysis. When you're looking at something to analyze the Greek, The first thing you're looking for is structure. And if you look at this sentence, you're going to see some, okay, well, it could be that A could be the conditional, or it could be part of that, that wishing thing, right? So if I don't see an apodosis here, instead I see a purpose clause, I'm going to try, here, don't watch out, sweetie. I'm going to try to, and you got to take him. I'm going to try it first as maybe an independent independent optative. Let me see if it works as an independent of optative. And so then I try it. Okay. Maybe it's a wish. If only for the night and day, these good guardians would guard us well. Sorry, would guard the thieves well. Hos, in order that may klepsosin, they may not steal to argurion, the silver to demo of the people.
Yes.
Right? So look, it works there. It works there as that wishing subjunctive. I mean, that wishing optative, right? Optative of wish. So as you're examining sentences to translate, don't be afraid to say, okay, this one, it didn't work out as a conditional. I tried it, didn't work out, so I'm going to try it this way.
Okay.
What you're going to find, and this is what comes out in the appendix, is that there are all sorts of substitutions that can be made. There's all sorts of mixed conditionals and substitutions. The language is very flexible, and the only reason we taught you that, the chart that's on page 97, is to give you a general idea of what can happen, what is possible. Okay. All right, let's go to finish up the grammar real quick, and then I'm going to give us a break, and we'll do some exercises if you've got time. Okay, okay. Adverbs. We'll start with adverbs on page 178. Adverbs. Most adjectives form adverbs by adding the ending omega sigma, right? What does it say, though? It says you have to use the stem. You got to drop the ending off the genitive singular. That's what you got to do. And then you add the omega sigma. So axios, the adjective for worthy, if you want to say you're doing something worthily or with worthiness, then you create axios with that omega. Kakos, kake, kakon means bad. Something is bad. Chop off the ending and add omega sigma, badly. You just basically are turning your adjective into an adverb. Notice adverbs and omega sigma accented on the ultima always have a circumflex. See, these things are easy to spot when they have that final accent because they're always circumflex. Okay. That was simple to understand. Now I want to go to the thing that's not so simple. This is on page 176. Conditional sentences with relative processes. So you notice I've just been screaming about how you can take these conditionals, you can mix them. Okay, this is one thing you can do. You can take the protasis, the if clause, and you can turn it into a relative. A relative, right? You create a relative protasis. Let's just look at the example. Look at the first one they give you at the bottom. Under future more vivid conditional sentence with a relative protasis. Look at it. Instead of your aeon plus your optative, you're going to have a relative plus, your aeon plus your subjunctive. Instead of having your aeon plus your subjunctive, you're going to have a form of the relative plus on plus a subjunctive. So the example they give you is hon, on, este, nason, pimpomen. How do you just translate that much? Pimpomen, right? We're sending somebody. Hon, whomever we send to the island, ekenos, that person, pai deothesetai, will be educated. Now, look at the apodosis. It's still got a future, just like the future more vivids do in their apodosis, right? But instead of that on plus a subjunctive, you have just substituted a relative pronoun. So instead of saying if somebody does something, then they will do something, you're saying whoever does something will do something. Does that
I
make
got it.
sense?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Whomever we send. And the reason it's whomever there is, notice the hon in the Greek is in the accusative case. It's in the accusative case. So you know it's acting as the object. It's the thing that we are sending. Whomever we send. Is that clear?
We're sending whomever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, in order to really let this sink in, I'm going to continue with the other examples of conditionals
Mm-hmm.
with substituted processes. But what I want you to
Okay.
do is I want you to go back to the relative pronoun in 6,
Yeah.
and I want you to look at its forms, because if you don't know these for the exam, it's going to screw you in like really bad ways. Let me show you what I mean. If you get the page before I do this,
We.
that's fantastic.
143,
Yeah, what
142, 43.
142. 143. Okay. I know. What's oh nope. Nope. There it is. Okay. Fantastic. Look at that chart. Hos, hu, hoi, hon. And recognize again that that is the nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative. The nominative would be whoever does something. Whoever goes to the store will get a prize, right? That is one of these substituted future more vivids. Okay. Now, with the genitive, you can do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Technically, it's whose ever, right? So, whose ever brother this is gets a prize, will get a prize, right? Whose ever, right? The person that this belongs to. The dative, to or for whom, okay, can also be by whom, right? To whomever this was written, they will blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
And then the accusative hon, whomever was blank, 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 that person. Good. I just want you to notice that, right? If it's a feminine, you're going to be using a hey. The article has to agree. It has to agree with its antecedent in number and gender. And then its case is determined by whatever it does. Good. Again, just look at that example in English underneath to reinforce. Agathos hopoietes, hos. See the hos there? That's the nominative. Right? Who egrapsen. He's going to be doing the verb. Who wrote. Good. The man is good. Who wrote the book? Yeah. Good. Fantastic. Fantastic. It gets okay. Now back to our examples. Okay. Now, as I'm going back, you tell me how these mixed conditionals are sinking in. Is that feel
really
pretty good for you? It does.
Yeah.
God, you're so fast. How? Okay. Well, that makes things easy.
What
Go
page were
right
we on?
now.
Oh wait,
Right now, I
177.
want you. Okay, 787. Right now, I want you to skip ahead, since you are getting it. I don't want to hold you back. And I want you to go to, before we even look at the sentences in the book, I want you to go to the review.
Okay.
Which is on page 189, is it? No, 190.
91.
Yeah, 191ish. Yeah. Okay. Notice in the review, I'm going to jump to the sentence, but notice in the review, they say this is a type of, exercise. For each of the following nouns, provide the proper form of the article.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Okay. So here you're matching those articles with your nouns. And so what is it doing? It's forcing you to say, look, number 14, musai, right? What case is that? Well, it's nominative plural, right? So fantastic. What's that nominative plural article, right? Oh, God, right? Put it up there. Give it to me, right?
Uh,
So that this is something that works well on exams, but not on an exam like we're giving. But I want you to know that that's the kind of thing that you should be doing, right? That's the kind
yeah,
of thing
practicing.
you should be able to do that. So I just want you to know that. Be aware of it. Look at number
Okay.
2. Translate indicatives and infinitives. Look, all they're giving us is a whole bunch of different types of verbs. That's it. A whole bunch of different types of verbs. Look at number 4. Klapsosin. Oh, God. Right? What is it? What do I have to do? Identify the first principal part. It's the same thing you and I are doing when we translate
Yeah.
sentences. You're identifying the verb. Keklofos, is that from klepto? If you forget that's from klepto, you're screwed. Right? Well, it's got a repetition of its first consonant, so I'm going to guess that it is a perfect. Yeah, it turns out it's perfect, right? Right?
hmm
Oh God. As, amen, ate, asi, right? It's an as, so
Yeah.
it's that second. Okay. Anyway, all I'm saying is what you and I have been drilling together from the sentences, you can
Yeah.
put on an exam and make people do. Okay, go to section 3, translation. Look at that first sentence and look at the parentheses underneath it. I want you to find the deliberative subjunctive that is there. Do you see
Okay.
a deliberative subjunctive? As you read it out loud and then tell me, yeah, you get what's going on.
Theoise dusomesa. Yeah. Omesa. Aneo icon.
Yeah, that's that aneo that takes the genitive that means without. Good.
Yeah,
Good. What
without
do we do with the
goats.
thusometha?
Oh, I have to go back to that because I need a refresher on the deliberative.
Yeah, think of it as a question. Notice that it's got a question on the end.
Yeah,
You don't need to.
yeah, you're right.
Thusometha. Are we to
Are we to
sacrifice?
sacrifice the to the
To the
are we
theos.
are we to sacrifice to the gods without goats?
Yeah, without the
A goat.
goats.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we going to enter into a
goats.
state of communication through sacrifice with gods if we don't have goats? Right? Look at the method there and how that middle
Yeah.
passive ending is working. Right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. What I want you to do though is I want you now to say, oh God, which chart? Go back in unit 7. In this unit, show me where this form is. Thusometha.
Thusometha.
Uh-huh.
All
What page
right.
is it on? If I'm new to the class and I'm like, wait, where can I find this form? Give me a page.
It's 166.
166. Okay, wait for the old man. Catch up. Here we go. I've still got vim and vigor, even though I'm aged. Okay. Is it? Is it in no, what's
Is it?
one more? There we go. Okay. People, look at the form here. Look at the form here and tell me. You see the ometh on the end. You see that middle passive form. You see the middle passive form. But what's going on with the ending? It's being attached to the part that will tell you whether it is middle or passive. Because remember, the third principal part is the aorist, active and middle. The sixth principal part is the aorist passive. So is paideos the sixth principal part or the third? Let me see if I can remember. Paideo, paideoso, epaideosa, pepaidelka, pepaidelmai, Epideuthein. So it doesn't have the passive stem. So it
Yeah.
must be middle. That's how you're going to be telling the differences between the middles and the passives, right? Because notice that you can have a present passive without switching the stem, right? But you cannot have
Yeah.
an aorist passive without switching the stem. You can't have a perfect passive without switching the stem, right? That it
Uh-huh.
turns from the fourth to the fifth principal part for the perfects if you're going to
Yeah.
passive. So it's always that stem. When you're in the woods with what the hell is this, a middle or a passive? Right? So what do I want you to do? I want you to translate that one as a middle. Let's go back to the exercise.
Okay.
Where'd it go?
Yeah. 191.
Yep. Oh God, it's a ways. 191. Boom. I hate using the flippy. You know, the only reason I'm using the text and the digital text is because for this chapter, my both of my current texts have a hole. Apparently, something happened. Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Right. So here's your deliberative subjunctive. Theos de thusometha aneo aigon. Are we to sacrifice for our own benefit? Are we to enter? That's why I said earlier, are we to enter
Oh,
into
yeah.
the
To
into the visual? Are we to enter into a state of communication with the gods? That's really what theos de thusometha means, right?
Yeah.
And because the person,
consult
the
the
editor,
gods.
because the editor here is overly biblically influenced culturally, they put anel igon. They put goats there, right? They shouldn't have done that. Right, because you are not entering into the communion with the goat. The living sacrifice is not a communion sacrifice. It's a sacrifice to acknowledge a giving up of something in order to get something from the God, right? That's totally different from entering into communication with the God. If I'm going to sit there and suck up the smoke and talk to God, I don't need blood, right?
Yeah.
So it's a real, to shed that blood is to show that you are giving up, you're yielding a soul, right? So if I want to talk to the dead, if I want to go through a necromantic ritual or I want to invoke some magic, it may demand a life sacrifice in order to make the operation work. But if I am just communing with the gods, i.e., prayer, right, then I'm going to be involved in sacrificing those plants, the botanicals mostly. Okay. Anyway, fantastic. Look at number 2, and I just want you to look in the parentheses first before you even look at the Greek.
Okay.
What are they giving us here? They're giving us a future less vivid conditional sentence. Okay, what do I remember about future less vivid? It's the a plus the optative plus on, and its translation formula is should would. So this should be a should would sentence. Okay, fine. What else does it say in the parentheses? It says we've got an enclitic, ge, right? That just means the enclitic just means it's joining to the word that comes before it. You say ekenoige, right? I mean, come on, seriously? That's not a big deal. Then it says neuter plural subject with singular verb. You've got a neuter plural subject.
Plural subject.
With a singular verb. So the neuter plural subject is on the bottom line at ta somata. Ta somata. That's neuter plural, and it can be a nominative or an accusative. So I'm going to assume it's the nominative. The bodies of good people. That's what taton agathon somata. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then our singular verb is tafeye.
Halfway.
Yeah. You see how that's an optative third singular,
With the
right?
on.
Good. And so there we go. We got no problems. We got a plural subject that's neuter and it can take a singular verb, no problem. Finally, in the parentheses, the last thing is a genitive of the personal agent.
Kakon.
Hupo kakon.
Yeah.
Hupo kakon. That's a
Okay.
personal agent. So we're going to expect a passive, right? And that's what we
Yeah.
get in tafeye. Isn't tafeye passive, right? What
Yeah.
is tafeye? Oh, holy. This ever terrible.
Well, yeah, what is that? Tafe.
Yeah. What is it? Wait a minute. Didn't we just have a vocabulary quiz? Look at page 99. Look at page 99. In the middle of the page, very middle of the page, we look at the verb thopto. Thopto, thopso, ethopso.
Bury, yeah.
And then look, it doesn't have a perfect. There's no perfect, but it's got a perfect passive. Isn't that weird? And then
What?
etaphane. And then etaphane is its aorist passive. So if you look at tafeye here, it's from that sixth principal part, right?
Wow. Okay.
Right. So you can figure out that's an optative, an aorist optative plus on. So this is a real future less vivid conditional, a should would. If these free people should guard the slaves, the bodies of good men would be buried by the evil.
Evil, yeah.
Yeah, the evil people assumed, right? Because, yeah, whatever. Okay, it's a should would.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's most important. Is it's a should would. Okay, now I'm going to give you number 5. Number 5, go down to it, and I want you to teach it to me.
All right.
Tell me what it's got in it and how you're going to translate it, and take your time.
Optative of wish. Dative with dual and generic substantive. So I'm just going to look at the verb, and then it's duleoimen, me duleoimen tois me sophois. How are we going to be enslaved? And it's I already know that it's well, hold on, let me double check. So
Look at the optative of wish part of it.
Yeah.
You know that verb is an optative of wish. How do we translate those optatives of wish? If you need to, jump back and look at the example in English, how they translate these.
Yeah. Yeah. So I might be enslaving.
Make it sound like a wish. Make it sound like a wish.
If I might, I don't know.
Yeah. May we not something,
may
or
we not.
I wish we wouldn't do something, right? The optative here is just showing you that the person who's expressing this is doing it as a wish. May we not, oh God, if only we don't. You can use if only for these too, right? If only we don't serve what? Tois me sophois. If only we aren't servants to what?
Wisdom?
To the mesophois. To the
Mes-
mesophois.
Unwise. So unwise?
To the unwise. There you go.
Mesophois.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. May we not
Interesting.
be servants to the
That's a new
unwise,
one for me.
right? Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now number 7, before stopping to think about it, right?
Okay.
Tell me really quick. This time don't look at nominal sentence. Don't worry. Dative and personal agent. You don't need to do
Okay.
it. You don't need to look
All
at any
right,
of that.
just look at it.
Tell me where's the verb of this? Where's the verb of this thing? Go ahead.
Pepautai, right?
Pepautai is a verb, right?
A verb. But it's is it an invisible bee in there? Invisible
There's
words.
yes, good. There's an invisible
Yeah.
verb that's the main verb, and the hoy.
Mhm.
The hoy is just
The
a relative
hoy.
clause, right?
Yeah.
It's just a relative clause. So your main sentence is agathos akenos horetor. And there's a verb to be in there, and the subject is horetor.
Yeah. Right. That good speaker.
Almost. How about this? How about that
This.
speaker is good?
Oh, I guess I didn't look at the ending on Ikenos. That
Yes.
speaker is good. Who?
To or for whom?
To or for whom? Pautai. Oh.
Pautai. Does that look like a perfect tense to you? Looks like a perfect tense to me. Pepautai.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
Maybe a perfect passive.
It is. It is a perfect passive with a third third singular, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
good.
It'd be to who's, did you say to who's speaking? Is that how the pronoun works?
To or for whom? When you see a dative relative pronoun, translated as to or for whom.
Okay. The to or for whom has been
good.
Has stopped.
Good.
The battle.
Yes, for whom the battle has been stopped.
Okay.
Yes. Isn't that nice, right?
Yeah.
The mache is still the subject of its clause, the battle. Pepautai is its verb, has been stopped. And to or for whom. When you translate the relative pronoun, when you translate it in the nominative, it's who. When you translate it in the genitive, it's whose. W-H-O-S-E.
Yeah.
When you translate it in the dative, it's to or for whom always. And when you translate it in the accusative, it's whom, right? Because it's the object of whatever the verb is. It's just practice with these relative pronouns that are going to really, stick with us.
Down.
Okay. I want you, it's 9:20. It's 9:20. I want you to take a 10-minute break, and then I just want you back for 15 minutes. Can I do that?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Take a mental break. Get your mind off the game. I'll see you at 30 for 10 minutes. I'll see you at 30 after. Okay. All right. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I just want you to see with these conditional sentences, if you go back to page 176 and you look at the bottom of that page and you look at future more vivids and you see the substitution, just look at the Greek hon on eiste nason. We did this. Whomever we send to the island, right? That person, paideothesetai, will be educated. Okay, that was our future more vivid. Turn across the page to your future less vivid. Look at just the Greek starting at hon eiste nason. Pimpoimen, whomever we should send. Whomever we should send. You've changed to your future less vivid, so it's got to be a should would. Right? I just want you to realize all of the types of conditionals that we have looked at, that you have the main chart for on page 97. It's that architecture from page 97 that you'll be building on. And I know I've said that, but I need to keep hammering it in, because for all of these conditionals, that's what you'll be doing. The first thing you'll do is you'll say, aha, this is a conditional with a substituted protasis. We have a relative in the protasis. So I'm going to determine what kind of conditional this is. It's a future less vivid, a plus optative, optative plus on. Therefore, I'm going to translate it that way. I just wanted to kind of repeat that to you to get you to set that in your brain. Okay. This is what we're going to do for tomorrow. We'll have the test for the first 45 minutes or so. Then we'll stop. We'll stop after 45 minutes, and I'll give you a 20-minute break, and you'll come back, and then we'll go on to the next unit. So it's a lot. Look, we did half of the review, not even that, because we did short sentences. I'm afraid you're getting shorted just a little bit, but what I'm pleased at is that you're able to keep up with both the vocabulary and the translation. All the translation we did today, including the actual Greek that you did, was fantastic. Okay. All we have to do is get you to practice these structures so that we can certify you having been able to pass this section of the exam. That's all we have to do. I'm really worried because you're assimilating the stuff so quickly that I know that I'm starting to lose the ability to use what we're doing, because you're getting so fast. Like normally right now, what I would do is having gone through the chapter like that, the student would now have a whole shit ton of questions that we would need to flush out doing exercises. From looking at the exercises that you and I have just done, you seem to be assimilating it all a lot faster. So I'm afraid that what we're doing is I just happen to get a really, really good student for the intensive course, and that's why you're able to do this. So I may have to put a caveat on it, and I may have to tell people, look, unless you can do like Maddalena did. So because you're being so successful so far, I'm really impressed today that you assimilate the new material and you're translating no problem. So I want to know from you, what are you doing? Tell me, just take 5-10 minutes and tell me what you're doing in this whole process.
So I'm just memorizing and being consistent, I think, is the most important aspect. And then just kind of reinforcing the things that I don't understand, or the concepts, and detaching the concepts from the translating sometimes. in order to watch what's actually happening in the grammar. So, and not getting hung up by that, and also just beating myself over with vocab and the studying the endings and morphology and stuff. But
So how do you go about like the next thing that you're going to study? So you know what we're going to do tomorrow, and you know you're going to have to go over the exam. So are you
yeah.
just gonna say, okay, I'm weak in something, or what do you, so I need to study vocabulary, I'm weak in this, so I need to, what's your
Well,
mental process during this whole thing? Just so for the
like
future. So,
I guess I am taking note of the areas that I'm extra weak at, which are or that I don't have completely memorized. Um and I think if like I ask myself, um how can I take the um basically the concepts and apply them, and if I can feel like I can teach myself, then it makes more sense and it becomes memorized easier. And also like keeping an open mind and being like willing to be wrong, and then just referring to what the charts say and trying to um, use rhythm and music and um, repetition. I think so.
okay, that gives me some things to think about and tell students what the successful path entails. So going over things, repetition seems to be a theme that you're
Yeah, well,
repeating. Is that
also, well, I've been like for the endings, the 10 endings and all of that. I'll record myself saying them and put on a loop. Sometimes if I can't be in the textbook, so I'll be hearing it. I'll be hearing myself say things and remember them. Sometimes if I really can't remember something and I'm like, oh man, I have 30 minutes till class and I'm trying to memorize, I'll put it even on a beat and put it and listen to it back while I'm reading it sometimes, or doing stuff around the house. And
Maddie, does he know about the songs that you did?
I made some songs, but I also using movement along with this. So if I don't have songs on me, like I don't have my phone or something, sometimes I'll picture, I can visualize fairly easy. So I I can picture the word and before me, and then I can use movement to remember and use like word associations and stuff.
so?
So
So your process of committing all of this data to your memory involves vocalization, music. Are you writing down at all? Some
yeah.
students will write, some
Yeah,
don't.
well, I write. So what also helps is if I can consolidate all the information on one piece of paper and then study the different areas and on the paper to remember, like, oh yeah, like upper left corner, I remember this chart was here, and I can recite it now in my head because I can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because typically, Maddalena, typically at this point, the stuff isn't cementing so solidly. I can tell
Yeah.
that you're doing something to really work the memory. You're really doing something to get, and like you said, you're talking about you use voice and you're using the sounds, right? You're
Mhm.
making it music. Um, Maybe that is a key. Maybe that holds a key somewhere because some students get it quick. And honestly, I am not one of the quick learners. I had to sit down. I'm one of the writers. I had to sit down and write these things over and over and over again. I never
Mhm.
talked it out to myself when I was learning it myself. I just
Yeah.
did it really quick and then mentally thought about it. So your verbal engagement may be a step up. It may be something like,
Well, I thought also if it's a musical language, that that perhaps will assist in my process with memorizing it.
yes. Are you saying you're smarter than me, that you figured that out and I didn't?
No. Uh,
I
no.
think you did. I think you did. I think you just
You
did. But
did.
but I think you're right. I think you're right. And I think maybe we can attribute your quick pickup because that's what you're doing, right? This is a phenomenally short period of time that you've picked up a lot. And when I do
Mhm.
identifications with you, you're able to pick it out at a point, at a speed that your average person is not going to be working at. So
Yeah, I
as you're
realize that I feel a little bit bad, honestly.
Well, no. As you're doing this, though, I want
Mhm.
you to bear in mind that I need to know what it is that is the key to your success, so that I can
Okay.
spread that to other students. So as you're learning it, kind of, I don't know, pay attention, do a little documentary in the back of your brain
Mhm.
about how you're learning this. That's really what I
Okay.
wanted to give you. Okay, whatever you're
Okay.
doing, keep doing it. Keep
Mhm.
doing it. It's not going to get any harder. It's not going to get any harder. It's just going to be more of the same thing. Okay?
Persistence. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever
Mhm.
you're doing, please keep doing it. I
Okay.
want you to finish on your own. I want you
Mhm.
to finish studying in the way that you think will be best for the exam. If you want to
Okay.
do a few more sentences,
Mhm.
before we jump into the exam tomorrow, I'm happy to do any, like if you do a couple from the exercises or a couple from the review that we didn't do and you're like, "Hey, can we do these together?" I'm perfectly happy to
Yeah.
do that before you jump into the exam, okay?
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, do not read the next unit. All I want you doing is
Okay.
preparing for the exam. We will
Mhm.
worry about the next unit after your exam. Okay.
Okay.
All
All right.
right. Any questions for me?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. Keep up the good work.
Mhm.
It's phenomenal. And
Thank you.
tomorrow night,
Mhm.
I'll have Lady Babylon. Wait, today's Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? The next time I have Lady Babylon, if we can start like we did last time at a half hour after, that'll give me the
Okay.
time that I need. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
We'll be
sure.
in touch. I'll see you
Cool.
tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you.
Yep.
Thank
Talk to you.
you, Aman. Thank
Bye.
you,
Yes. Thanks to
Maddie.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yes. And
All
Thank
Chewy.
right.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Chewy.
guys. Thank you, Madeline.